Spirit talker, spoken wisdom. To cleanse yourself is like going to church and asking for redemption, asking for forgiveness. But you can't go right back out of church and sin again and keep on coming back, okay? You're still rotting inside. You're still picking up the same bad habits. You got to show God that you truly believe in his child more than man's child. You got to stop acting as a man and a woman, okay? You can't cleanse yourself then go back and still do it again. You have to accept it and make it so. Make it so. And let God know that you know the difference between man's child and God's child, his child. And show him. You have to put down man ways and choose to be a gentleman. All the mental and emotional and the physical behaviors of a man, you have to stop that. You have to show God that you're strong enough to listen to the spirit inside you and stop acting as a man, talking as a man, and being a man. Period. Because at the end of your days, you start acting like a gentleman, but now, is it too late? When you knew years ago you should have been a gentleman, but you chose not to act like a gentleman. You chose to be a man. Being a gentleman, you're a creature of both. You're gentle and a man. And when you man up in your gentleman stage, God knows why you're doing it. The spirit inside you. You understand that? You are both. But if you only choose to be one, you'll rot inside. You'll never make it to your final stage, the stage that your true father will let you inside his home. Have a blessed day. Spirit talker. Spirit talker. Spoken wisdom. Spiritual cleansing. Understand this, ladies, and you'll agree with this in your lady stage. Only the gentleness of a gentleman can relieve you of the stress and the rot and the negativity that the man puts in you throughout the day-to-day of life. Only the gentleness of a gentleman, the way he touches you mentally, emotionally, and physically, in that order. A man touches you physically, suppresses you mentally and emotionally, that becomes your rot. You never release yourself mental or emotional, then you rot inside. And if you only chose him as a man and he doesn't know how to be a gentleman, that is what becomes cancer inside you. Your mental neglect, the emotional neglect, and the physical abuse. Not even just hitting on you or fucking you, but you psychologically, emotionally feeling the need to have to go cut on yourself, to get bigger lips, to get a bigger butt. The seed of man and the egg of woman is the human being. It's the spirit inside you that he needs to feed, that he needs to drain of all the human sins, the flesh of man, the flesh of woman. When his spirit touch you in his gentleness stage, his gentleman stage, that gentleness absorbs you, your vibrations, your energy. It soothes you. It balances you. Instead of you being chemically unbalanced, mentally and emotionally unbalanced, you become imbalanced. Your mental, your emotional, and your physical all become imbalanced. One. You vibe with him. That's the gentleness of a gentleman connecting with a lady. The sweetness of a lady is when the fruit is ripe. That's why you have to choose a man that's willing to become your gentleman. He teaches you and treats you mentally, emotionally first. And then when you choose to reward him with heaven on earth, when you choose to reward him with heaven on earth, he enters your heaven as a gentleman. He loves you. He put positive energy in you, not negative. It's a switch. Your positive, his positive, all is one. There's no negative in there. It cleanses you. It goes through. It becomes one. A man puts in you. You receive. Nothing switches back and forth. But the gentleness with the lady is a constant flow. It's the yin and the yang. What goes in comes out. What comes out goes in. Understand that. Learn to connect with the gentleman with his gentleness, and it will soothe you mentally and emotionally, and then reward him. God wants you to be that freak in the sheets with a gentleman, not a man. Have a blessed day. Spirit Talker, spoken wisdom. This is a message to all the gentlemen out there that knows both of his stages, the man stage and the gentleman stage. The sweetness of a lady is like no other. A woman is a bitter fruit. She's not ripe yet. She doesn't know what it takes to satisfy her man inside of her. She doesn't see you as complete. You're not fully connected. So all her nerve endings and all your nerve endings is not meeting. It's a bitter fruit. It's the forbidden fruit. It's not ripe yet. It's not right to have her in that stage. So you can never know the sweetness until you learn to be that gentleness that will bring out the sweetness of that lady. You got to understand the psychology of that. Okay? You cannot accept her. You have to know that she's mentally satisfied, emotionally satisfied, and then allow her to give you heaven. Don't take heaven. When you take something, it's not yours. It's not meant for you to have. When she puts it on you, you can't go to heaven when you choose to go to heaven. You have to live your life out and let heaven choose you. You understand that? So the same thing right there is you have to let her choose you. That's when you become that chosen one. And not just chosen by a woman or not even chosen by a lady, but you're chosen by a goddess that chose you in your angel stage. There only could be a gentle angel. There's no such thing as a man angel. And only to reach your angel stage, you have to accept the gentleness in your gentleman stage. Okay? No different than a woman. She cannot be a woman goddess. She's a lady goddess. God will not let a woman inside of heaven. She descended from heaven as a goddess to walk out her manifestation as a female, girl, woman. What's greater than a woman is a lady. To return to heaven gates as a lady, to go through heaven's gate as a goddess. That's how God sees her. But she's going to have to confess to all her sins on her. Every man that she ever lied with, laid with, she conceived with. By the grace of God. Okay, because she thought man, she received man. There's nothing wrong with a man or a woman. We have to admit we're not right for each other in that stage. No different than a descending angel. He descends from heaven, born on the earth as a male, boy, man. And what's greater than a man is a gentleman. He may go up to heaven's gate as a gentleman, but only enter heaven as an angel. But he will have to confess to all his sins as a man. Understand that. But live the right stage so you can make it inside heaven. You cannot go heaven thinking you're a man or a woman when you will not let a man or a woman inside your home. Why would God let a man or woman inside of heaven? Even though man has married man and woman in a union that's really against God, because you choose the child of man. You don't choose the child of God. A lady and a gentleman is the child of God. Understand that. That is the chosen human being. The chosen child on earth is a lady and gentleman. Have a blessed day. Spiritual wisdom from Spirit Talker. This message to the mothers and fathers out there with children, boys and girls. The child of man is the boys and girls. The child of God is an angel and a goddess that live up to their lady and gentleman stage. But I send this urgent message so it does not matter what age your child is. Your child can be 40 years old. I'm going to ask you, sit down with your child from the age of 4 to 40. Does not matter. And tell that child the greatest thing he can be is a gentleman. Tell that child the greatest thing she can be is a lady. Explain to her and them, within them, the man's child and God's child. You understand? You have two fathers, and each father has a child of their own. One mother, both children is hers. The child of man and the child of God belongs to that one mother. But the child of man is man's child. The child of God is God's child. God does not care about the marriage of a man's child. No different than how we are when we have our own kids, okay? We don't want our child calling somebody else daddy. We okay with dad, the Father in heaven. But we have this certain internal feeling when we hear our child look at somebody else as a mother and father. I'm a foster child. I felt that within me. I learned that from my father. I learned that from my mother. And when my mother accepted it and it had me learn and accept it, she accepted they ain't nothing but my babysitters. And she knew the love that I have for her, nobody can come between that. Unspoken. But it takes a minute for us to learn. Imagine what Jesus went through. He called another man father when his true father, the greatest father you can ever have, is in heaven. And every time he's looked at another person's father, but that's, you understand, that changes you. You have to go through that. So I ask you, if you really know the greatest thing your child can be, shouldn't you share that with them? Shouldn't you complete the lesson that that child went through with you and clarify it, stating, you look, you got one mother. The loyalty that we have to our mother, it's like no other. And the loyalty we have in our fathers. You know, that's my blood. That's my dad. I know that. I had 6 foster fathers. And I know the blood of I did not want to accept my biological father. I was angry with him because he allowed me to be hit on and call other men father. He wasn't there for me. I carried that. Then I come to realize I was raised like Jesus. I had to learn to foster a relationship with others. And it wasn't about them. It was about me. Who am I because of them? Who am I because of them? Who do they bring out of me? And each one brings something different out of me. You have to learn, what do your parents bring out in you? And I say this to the parents. Teach your children. Complete that lesson with them. Tell them the greatest child that can be is not man's child, but God's child. Explaining a man's child is a man and a woman. You know it makes sense. God's child is a lady and a gentleman. No one's going to let a man and a woman inside their home when they have the choice of a lady and a gentleman on the behaviors by itself and the respect that you're supposed to show someone else when you're in their home. Take the time and explain that. Have a blessed day. Spirit Talker. Spirit Talker, spoken wisdom. Let's talk about this. The empowerment of thought, to empower your thoughts. The most powerful thing you have is not what you say, it's what you think. Because that is a conversation between you and God. Only God, you and God knows your thoughts. But I say this to you. Make your thoughts worthy of God. Thoughts of man is not worth God's time. That's the thoughts of a man's child. But the thought of God's child is the gentleman's thoughts. A gentleman's vocabulary, a man's vocabulary. Is there a difference? And if you don't know, you need to learn that. So when you pick up the vocabulary of a gentleman, you will be having more conversations with God. And make it a worthy conversation. Don't ask him the weakness and the foolishness of man, the insecurities of man. Be that gentleman, be that confident child that know you got the Spirit of God beyond the seed and the blood of your father on earth, but you have the Spirit of God. Live by that power and that thought by itself. God will know everything about you and you will know everything about God. That is do you understand how common that is? And everything you know, the sense that you feel is only common between you and God. That's what common sense is. And when you sense God inside you, make that common to everything you think you know. You think like the child of God. I ask that of you. You'll live a better life. Your dad, your biological father on earth don't know your thoughts. And sometimes you won't even share your thoughts, but you are always sharing your thoughts with God. Your thoughts are communication between you and God. What comes from the thoughts is wisdom. When you learn to speak the wisdom that you receive from God, you speak the living word of God. Do that make sense? God will always empower his child's words. Ask your Father on earth, can he empower your thoughts? He does not know your thoughts, but God does. God knows your thoughts. That is the secret language between you and God. Keep it positive. When you think negative, that is the seed of man sinning on the Spirit of God. Don't do that. Spirit Talker, have a blessed day.